So spoiler warning, if you haven't seen Old, I recommend you see it. Yo YouTube, what's going on? Comic John here, and I just got out of a little Friday afternoon matinee of M. Night Shyamalan's latest installment, Old. And it was fucking good! Oh my gosh! I can't believe I'm even saying it. In the beginning, I found myself looking for what I didn't like about it because I've just been disappointed by Shamalan for a while, so I was just expecting the eventual, like, oh, this is so dumb. And that only happened for a second. I can't stand it when it's so obvious that a 6-year-old just is so much more self-aware than a 6-year-old has any business being. That just bothers me. You know, like 6-year-olds are morons. Like they don't understand social norms at all. And so, but though that is my criticism, it sort of lent itself to the kid as he aged. So you were like, oh, okay, this kid was just like a brainiac because he's just really intelligent. So it makes that part more believable. At least it did for me. The tone, the way that it was shot, the pace, I loved it. And that was something about Shamalan that I always enjoyed. You know, his movies were just easy to watch, but they always just began to drone on. And this movie is short. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, and it doesn't stop. In the beginning, it's got the typical horror movie beginning, you know, the family, everything's happy, maybe there's some underlying trauma or horror, and then they get to this hotel. It's kind of like one last vacation with the kids, and because the parents are getting divorced, again, spoilers, and well, they're thinking of separating, or the mom's thinking of leaving the husband. So they're at this normal, resort, just enjoying some family time. And the owner, this kind of weaselly British guy with a red beard, comes up and he's like, hey, you know, you guys look really nice. There's this secluded beach that's almost impossible to get to. It's like a natural anomaly. Like it's tucked around... It's like enclosed by rocks and caves, and if you guys seem really nice, so I want to give you a chance to go there. So they go there. They end up going with like a couple other people on vacation, some rich doctor and his really super young wife and their 5-year-old daughter and his mother. And then I believe Miles from Lost, who I was so happy to see, and his wife, they are there as well. I always forget his real name. Sorry, but the guy who played Miles in Lost, Miles Strom. I remember his full fake name, but not his real name. Sorry. And it was, so all of a sudden they all noticed that, oh, I forgot. There were so many Jaws homages in this movie, and I loved it. Just the way that it was shot, in specific scenes on the beach. There's one specific scene where it's a bit of a flashback before they got there. The evening before, this woman, it was like the updated 2021 version of the opening scene in Lost, where the girl takes her clothes off and goes swimming. And there's a dude on shore kind of enjoying watching her. Well, that girl eventually washes up into like one of the gullies in one of the caves and bumps into one of the kids playing hide and seek. And they're like, wait, did this guy that's still here, this dude that's just like hanging out, did he kill her last night? But why is he still here? And why is his nose just bleeding? Lost references. A lot of Lost references also. Not just the actor. Ken Lang, I think that's his name. So anyway, the girl must have been out there swimming and aged and, drowned. And she gets washed up and she bumps into the kid. And then all of a sudden, the way that this movie was shot is just easy to watch. I don't know what it is about Shamalan. That's like his thing for me. It's like almost anything could be happening, and it just is easy to look at. And the dialogue's usually a little almost too aware of itself. I compare it to his cameos. You know, Hitchcock cameos would be like 3 seconds. M. Night Shyamalan gives himself like dialogue and like he's hanging around for like 5 minutes. Like, okay, you're in the movie too. Like, make it a little more, blink and you'll miss. So one by one, they either die or get killed by aging to death or trying to escape. If they try to go back the way they came, they black out and then end up on the beach. It was kind of, again, another nod to Lost, like when you turn the donkey wheel and then all of a sudden you're in wherever Ben landed, I forget. It ends with, I believe, the last 4 people is the family, the daughter, the son, and the mom and dad. And the dad, I love how the dad lost his eyesight. All of a sudden he's sitting there looking down at this woman who just seized to death because Miles drowned, and his wife gets seizures, and she was having a seizure, and I guess, I don't know what happened. What are you supposed to do when someone has a seizure? Hold their head a certain way? Because no one went near her, and foam came out of her mouth, and I guess that was it. And the dad's looking down at her, he's looking down at her and everything. Just, I thought there was something wrong with the screen or like the film. I was like, what the F? And then he looked around and everything was blurry. 2 seconds later, his wife all of a sudden is like, and she holds one ear closed, can't hear anything. Removes her hand again and can like hear, but it's like muffled. The scene, like the setting overall to me was so good. I love it when a TV show or a movie just is in one place. I don't know why. I just feel like it's easier to focus. That makes sense. You know, when they're jumping all around, it's cool. You know, like they do in Marvel or Star Wars, they jump all around to different planets. It is cool. But there's something about just one spot. A couple of movies that come to mind. Jaws, it's all basically on a boat. Lost, it's all on an island. I mean, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The Shining, Shawshank Redemption, basically TV or movies that happen in one place. It's fun to do. I would like to write something where the whole thing is in one place. So all 4 of them are sitting there, watching the ocean, and the dad says to the mother, he says something great like, I forgot, now they're like 80. They're old now. It's nighttime. He's like, I forgot the word. It's about how much I love you. And she says, and she's leaning in because she can't hear, and he's leaning in so she can, and he's not looking. She goes, I know. And then he puts his head on her shoulder and then falls off her back, and he dies. And then mom's crying. She stands up, walks out to the ocean. The camera pans like it keeps walking, but she's no longer in the shot. It keeps like going towards out to the ocean. Then it comes back, and mom's on the ground. She's dead. And then I had to walk out and pick up my daughter because I was running late. And here I am in the pickup line here. And I didn't see the end. I think I know how it's going to end. Here are my guesses, because I know I'm a stiff, but I'm going to go back to the theater and I'm going to finish this movie. I'm probably going to watch like another movie and then sneak in to see the end of Old. But anyway, here's my guess. They kept shooting to the sparkly things at the top of the giant mountain, and that guy in the purple who was watching them. The little kid in the beginning who says, you know, mix the flavors. And he also said, my uncle is like the guy here. Then when they got to the beach, the dad says, look at the beautiful coral. And then they didn't even show it. Camera didn't go to it. Nothing. So, I don't know. It's going to have something to do with that. The kid, the coral, and the purple guy. And, yeah. So, I'll see another movie. I'll do the end for this one. I'll try to wear the same shirt and sunglasses so everyone doesn't get confused. But until then, I will see you next week. We gotta go!